Try this right now. Take your finger and tickle the bottom of your own foot, or under your arm, wherever normally gets you. Nothing happens. Maybe a small flinch, but no laugh, no loss of control. Now imagine a friend walks up and touches that exact same spot, same pressure, same motion. You'd probably jump out of your skin laughing. Same touch, same nerve endings, same exact spot on your body. So why does one do absolutely nothing and the other makes you completely lose it? It sounds like a party trick, but scientists have spent decades taking it seriously because it turns out to be one of the clearest windows we have into how your brain actually works. The answer has nothing to do with how ticklish you are. It's about whether your brain already knows the touch is coming before it happens. When you move your own finger, a part of your brain called the cerebellum, tucked underneath the back of your skull, doesn't just send the command to move. It sends a copy of that exact command to itself and uses it to predict precisely what sensation is about to happen, where you'll be touched, how hard, and when. Then, in the split second before that sensation actually arrives, your brain quietly cancels it. Not because the nerve signal doesn't happen, it does. Because your brain already decided it knows the answer, so there's nothing new worth your attention. Neuroscientist Sarah-Jayne Blakemore and her team at University College London wanted to prove this wasn't just a theory. So they built a machine, a small robotic arm with a piece of foam on the end. People triggered it themselves, pressing a button that made the foam tap their palm a split second later. Just like tickling yourself, it did almost nothing. Then the researchers changed one detail. They added a tiny delay or shifted exactly where the foam landed compared to where the person expected it. Suddenly, the same machine triggered by the same person felt noticeably more ticklish. The instant the prediction stopped matching reality, the cancellation stopped working, and the sensation got through. This isn't a strange glitch. It's one of the most important jobs your brain performs every second of your life. Your body is under constant sensory bombardment. Clothes against your skin, your tongue against your teeth, the sound of your own footsteps. If your brain treated every one of those signals as new information, you'd never notice the one thing that actually matters. The twig that snaps behind you, that you didn't cause. Picture an early human resting by a fire. Their own breathing, their own heartbeat, the rustle of their own clothing all have to fade into the background instantly, or they'd never catch the one sound that could get them killed, a footstep that isn't theirs. So your brain predicts and mutes anything it generates itself and saves your full attention for anything it didn't see coming. Tickling is simply the one version of this you can actually catch yourself experiencing. Once you know to look for it, you start noticing it everywhere. Right now, your eyes are making tiny, extremely fast jumps, several times a second, called saccades, as they scan the screen. Each jump should smear your vision like a camera whipping sideways. It doesn't, because your brain predicts the movement and blanks out what you'd see during the jump, stitching together a smooth picture that was never actually there. You've never once seen the blur. Your brain deleted it before it reached you. And this isn't just prediction covering for you after the fact. Two things happen at once. Before the jump even starts, your brain sends a signal that dampens what your eyes are about to register. And the sharp, still images right before and after the jump help hide the blur, like two photographs papering over the gap between them. You can actually catch this happening on yourself. Look in a mirror and glance from your left eye to your right eye. You'll never see your own eyes move. It feels instant, like a cut, not a pan. But record your face doing the exact same thing, and the movement shows up perfectly clearly on video. Same eyes, same motion. You just don't get to watch it happen. And it goes further. You blink between 15 and 20 times a minute, and each blink blacks out your vision for roughly a tenth of a second. Add that up and you spend close to an hour of every waking day with your eyes physically closed. And you've never once noticed the world going dark. Same trick as the tickle. Your brain simply doesn't show you the parts it already expects. It even reaches inside your body. Your heart beats roughly 100,000 times a day, and every one of those beats sends a small mechanical pulse through your chest. Most of the time, you don't consciously feel a single one. Not because the signal isn't there, but because your brain has learned to expect it and files it under nothing new. There's real evidence behind that filtering, not just theory. Researchers have played sounds timed exactly to people's own heartbeats, then compared them to the identical sound played slightly offbeat, disconnected from the pulse. The synced sound, the predictable one, barely registers in the brain's response. The same sound, played out of sync, lights up far more. Predictable wins again. Your brain quiets down whatever it already expects, even from inside your own chest. Researchers who study this kind of internal sensing believe the same predictive filtering that mutes your tickle and steadies your vision is, at least in part, quietly editing out the drumbeat of your own heartbeat too. It even reaches your own voice. The instant you start talking, your auditory cortex dampens its response to the sound, measurably on a brain scan, because your brain already knows exactly what you're about to say and how you're about to sound. That's a big part of why hearing a recording of your own voice feels so jarring. It's not just that the sound travels differently through bone versus through air. You're hearing your voice for the first time without your brain quietly turning down the volume on its own prediction. Touch, sight, your own heartbeat, even your own voice. The filter runs on all of it, all the time, without asking permission. So what happens when that filter breaks? In that same wave of research, Blakemore's team tested people living with schizophrenia, specifically those experiencing what's called passivity symptoms, the unsettling sense that your own thoughts or movements belong to someone else. Some describe it as feeling like their own arm moved on its own, or like a thought appeared in their head that wasn't theirs to begin with. And Blakemore's team found something remarkable. Those patients could tickle themselves. Their brain's prediction system wasn't correctly canceling their own self-generated touch. The exact mechanism that normally keeps your own hand from surprising you was misfiring. And it's not only a clinical story. Later studies found the same pattern on a much smaller scale in the general population. People who score higher on personality traits linked to schizophrenia, even people with no diagnosis at all, tend to be slightly better at tickling themselves than everyone else. The filter isn't a switch that's simply on or off. It's a dial, and you're sitting somewhere on it right now. Which means the same 3-pound organ that quietly refuses to let you laugh at your own hand might also be part of why, for some people, their own thoughts start to feel like someone else's. Your brain isn't a camera, passively recording the world and your body exactly as they are. It's constantly running a prediction, comparing it to reality, and only showing you the difference. Most of what you call feeling is really just the leftover error message. There's actually a version of this you can test on yourself right now. One that sneaks a little further past your brain's filter than a single finger does. It's simple enough that psychology classrooms have used it for years to demonstrate the effect live. Tickle yourself using 2 fingers instead of 1, moving them independently with a slightly unpredictable gap between when each one lands. Most people feel a faint version of a real tickle, not as strong as someone else doing it, but it's there. That small bit of unpredictability is enough to slip a little sensation past the guard. So next time someone tickles you, remember, it was never really about the fingers. It's proof that your brain has been quietly rewriting your reality your entire life, and you only just found out. It edits what you feel, what you see, and maybe even what you think is yours. If it's been editing something this obvious right in front of you the whole time, what else do you think it's hiding? Subscribe because next time we're finding out.